Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to Coach K's Corner. I want to talk about setting boundaries in your work-life balance. I apologize, my dog over here is taking a drink. I don't know about you, but every single day for me, I feel like I have to be and I want to be on it for my kids, on it for the staff members in my classroom, on it for the meetings and all the other aspects that come with teaching special education. Our jobs are so demanding and we have so many in real time decisions to make, and it can really be a lot. So teaching is such a rewarding job, but on the other hand, it's also emotionally, mentally, and physically exhausting. It's even more so if you don't put certain things into practice to make sure you balance your personal life with your work life. Here are 7 things that I do that have really helped me set boundaries and balance my personal life with work. Tip number 1, communicate with parents via email, on your phone at work, in parent-teacher conferences, drop off at dismissal if it's not a very pressing issue. One thing that I do not do is I don't give out my personal cell phone to parents. I feel like if I gave my cell phone out to parents and families, it would be really difficult for me to personally set a boundary and then shut work off at the end of the day. I just want to set that boundary with parents and families that I am here to help you and support your child, but I do have personal boundaries in my own personal life. For those reasons, I do not share my personal cell. This brings me to my next tip number 2, which is to turn off email notifications on your phone. My first few years of teaching, I always had these notifications on. Even though I kept doing it for years, I quickly realized that it was draining me. I wasn't able to shut work off at the end of the day. I felt like I was just constantly connected to work and never really got a break. So turning these notifications off and forcing myself to answer emails in a timelier manner became really important to me. This also leads into my next tip number 3, shut off work at the end of the day. I feel like it's so important to shut work off at the end of the day because we are gonna give our all to our students while we're at school, and it's really important to shut things down and to rest and recharge so you're ready for the next day. Tip number 4, take a break during the day that's outside of your lunchtime and your planning period. This one for me is hard to follow, but when I follow it, I feel like I'm more productive, I'm more on it for my students, I can communicate more effectively with my staff members. I'm talking about a really short break, so maybe you go for a quick walk. Sometimes I'll just walk outside and get some sunshine, or even if it's cloudy, just step outside and be in a setting that's not my classroom. If you have the time to do maybe a 2 to 3 minute meditation where you just reset, and so anything that can kind of help you disconnect from what's currently going on within your school day is going to help you be even more on it when it's time to get back to work. I realize there are going to be some days where this just is not possible. You may have students with really intense behaviors going on, or you may have back-to-back meetings, or you may teach back-to-back classes and then have meetings right after. So there are just some days where you won't be able to do this. So really try to take advantage of the days when you can do this, because not every day is going to be super jam-packed. Try to really prioritize and pick those days where you can take breaks throughout the day. Tip number 5, avoid bringing work home if you can. Listen, sometimes we have to work at home. It's inevitable, but you can really limit the amount of work that you bring home and how much you do. So I would personally advise maybe picking 1 day a week, if you can, where you come in early or you stay later at school. Really limit your work outside of school within that time frame. And once that time frame's over, set that boundary for yourself and stop working. I know it's hard to do because we have so many things to do every single day, every single week, every single month. It always seems like something's right around the corner, but that's okay. Really get in the habit of being productive while you're at work. And if you need 1 day throughout the week, then use that 1 day and get as many things done as possible. Tip number 6, avoid working on the weekends. You're gonna pour so much of yourself into your students and your staff and your classroom during the week that you really need those weekends to rest and recharge, do things for yourself personally, and take time away from school so you are ready to come back the next week just as good as you were the week before. If I have to work on the weekends for IEP, prep, or planning, I really limit myself to 1 to 2 hours max, and that is it. In order to avoid working on the weekends, what I like to do is prep for the week ahead starting on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the previous week. And by the time Wednesday comes, I really try to start my planning for the next week. I'm not gonna be able to sit down and get it done all in one day, but I will try to chip away at little things as much as possible. Tip number 7, plan time for yourself during the work week and on the weekends to help you decompress. Whether it's exercising, reading, meditating, dancing, which is my personal favorite, pick something that really helps you escape from work and helps you shut off work at the end of the day or on the weekends. Plan dinners with your friends, plan time to spend a lot of time with your family. That really helps to set work aside for a little bit so you can come back rested and rejuvenated for the next week. Try to find a couple of things that you can get really involved with that are your go-to hobbies that you can do outside of work. I hope these tips help you set boundaries and really find a great work-life balance. And if you have any tips, please comment them down below, and I'll see you in the next video.